The evening of June 3rd, 2023, will forever be etched in the memory of India. At approximately 7 p.m., the Coromandel Express, traveling at high speed from Shalimar to Chennai, derailed near the Bahanagar Bazaar station in Balasore district, Odisha. Carriages were thrown violently off the tracks, some twisting into grotesque shapes against the unforgiving steel. The immediate aftermath was chaos. Survivors stumbled from the wreckage, dazed and bloodied, their ears still ringing from the screeching metal. The cries of the injured filled the air, a chilling counterpoint to the groans of the mangled train cars. Local villagers were the first on the scene, their faces etched with horror as they surveyed the magnitude of the disaster. News of the crash spread like wildfire across the nation. Television screens were dominated by images of the wreckage, the twisted metal a stark reminder of the fragility of life. A collective gasp of horror went up from a nation all too familiar with the tragedy of train accidents. As darkness descended, casting long shadows over the wreckage, the true scale of the disaster began to emerge. The death toll was rising rapidly, and it was clear that this was one of the worst train accidents in India's history. The nation reeled in shock, united in grief and disbelief. In the face of unimaginable tragedy, the spirit of humanity shone through. Local villagers, who had been the first to respond, worked tirelessly throughout the night, pulling survivors from the wreckage and tending to the injured. Their courage and compassion in those early hours undoubtedly saved countless lives. As dawn broke, a massive rescue operation swung into action. Teams from the National Disaster Response Force, NDRF, and the Indian Army arrived with heavy equipment, their faces grim as they surveyed the enormity of the task ahead. Doctors and nurses worked around the clock, their faces etched with fatigue, but their resolve unwavering. Amidst the devastation, stories of remarkable courage and survival began to emerge. A young woman, trapped beneath a pile of metal for hours, used her mobile phone to guide rescuers to her location. A group of passengers, uninjured in the crash, worked tirelessly to free their fellow travelers. These stories, shared widely on social media, offered a glimmer of hope in the midst of the darkness. The rescue operation continued for days, with every passing hour bringing fresh challenges. The heat was oppressive, the air thick with the stench of death and decay. Yet the rescuers pressed on, their determination fueled by the hope of finding even a single survivor. As the dust settled, the true human cost of the tragedy began to emerge. The official death toll reached a staggering 288, with over 800 injured. However, these numbers only tell a small part of the story. Behind each number lies a human life tragically cut short, a family torn apart by grief. There was the young couple returning home after their wedding, their dreams shattered in an instant. The elderly man making his annual pilgrimage, his journey ending in tragedy. The children orphaned, their lives forever scarred by the events of that fateful night. The nation mourned with the families of the victims, sharing their grief and offering condolences. The government announced compensation packages for the families of the deceased and the injured, but no amount of money could ever truly compensate for their loss. The Balasore train crash served as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the indiscriminate nature of tragedy. It left an indelible mark on the national psyche, a wound that would take years, if not generations, to heal. Section 4. A system under scrutiny. Rail safety in India. In the wake of the tragedy, questions were immediately raised about rail safety in India. The country has a vast and aging rail network, often operating at capacity. While India had made significant strides in improving rail safety in recent years, the Balasore crash exposed the fact that much work remains to be done. Preliminary investigations pointed to a signaling error as the likely cause of the accident. This raised concerns about the adequacy of the current signaling system, particularly on high-speed lines. Questions were also raised about the maintenance of tracks and rolling stock, as well as the training and working conditions of railway staff. The government vowed to conduct a thorough investigation into the causes of the accident and to hold those responsible accountable. A high-level committee was set up to review rail safety procedures and recommend improvements. The Balasore crash served as a wake-up call, forcing a national conversation about the importance of investing in rail safety. It highlighted the need for a multi-pronged approach, encompassing infrastructure upgrades, technological advancements, and enhanced safety protocols. Section 5. Looking ahead towards a safer rail network. The Balasore train crash was a tragedy of immense proportions, leaving behind a legacy of grief and loss. However, it also served as a catalyst for change, prompting a renewed focus on rail safety in India. The government has pledged to invest heavily in upgrading the country's rail infrastructure, including the modernization of signaling systems, the elimination of level crossings, and the introduction of advanced safety features on trains. There is also a renewed emphasis on improving the training and working conditions of railway staff. Technology is also playing a key role in enhancing rail safety. The Indian Railways is increasingly turning to artificial intelligence and machine learning to monitor track conditions, detect potential faults, and improve overall safety protocols. The journey towards a safer rail network in India will be long and challenging. However, the memory of the Balasore train crash serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of this mission. By learning from the mistakes of the past and embracing new technologies, India can build a rail network that is both efficient and safe, ensuring that such a tragedy never happens again.